Feeling overwhelmed? Like your space is closing in and your mind won't stop racing? What if the peace you're craving isn't found in adding more, but in letting go? In this video, we'll show you how simplifying your space and decluttering your mind can open up room for calm, clarity, and a deeper sense of ease. Plus, we'll introduce a beautiful, lesser-known Japanese principle that could change how you look at your life and your home. Let's take a breath and begin.
There comes a point when the noise becomes too much, when the weight of everything we're holding and everything surrounding us starts to blur the peace we're meant to feel. Sometimes it isn't more that we need. It's space, a moment to breathe, a moment to let go. This is an invitation to do just that, to simplify and declutter, not just the stuff in your closet, but the clutter in your mind, your schedule, your heart. Maybe life's been moving fast lately. Maybe you're juggling too much, or maybe you just feel the quiet tug that something needs to shift. You're not alone, and you don't have to overhaul your whole world to feel better. Together, we'll explore simple steps to clear space, physically and mentally, and discover a calming, beautiful principle from Japanese culture that sees space not as emptiness, but as something sacred. So settle in, breathe. You might want a journal nearby, or maybe you'll just listen. Either way, this is your pause, your permission to create room for peace. So let's start with something we all experience, but don't always recognize. Clutter, whether it's on our countertops or in our calendars, can weigh us down. It creates noise in our space, noise in our minds. You know that feeling when you walk into a messy room and instantly feel anxious or drained. That's not just in your head, that's your nervous system responding to the chaos. On the flip side, think about a peaceful space you've been in, maybe a cozy cabin, a well-designed spa, or even your favorite coffee shop during quiet hours. There's a sense of ease, spaciousness. That's the power of simplicity. When we create space, physically and mentally, we give our minds room to breathe, our thoughts space to settle, and our hearts a chance to rest. And the truth is, we don't need more to feel better. We often need less. Less clutter, less noise, less pressure to keep everything, fix everything, do everything. Simplicity isn't about deprivation. It's about alignment. It's about curating your life, your space, your time, your energy to reflect what you truly value. And that's why this work is so important, because clarity comes from clearing, and peace begins with letting go. In the next section, we'll make this practical. You don't need a full weekend or a Pinterest-worthy plan. Just a drawer, a box, or even one corner of your home. Let's start small and see how it adds up. It always starts with one corner, one drawer, one decision to make space for peace. You don't need a weekend marathon or a color-coded system. You just need one place to begin. Maybe it's that one drawer in the kitchen that's full of things that don't belong. Or your bedside table where unread books, cords, and randomness have quietly piled up. Choose something small, something manageable, something that doesn't overwhelm you to even think about. Open it gently. Now here's where the shift happens, not just in organizing, but in honoring the space. Pull everything out. Don't rush. Touch each item. Ask yourself, do I need this? Do I use this? Does it bring me any peace? Or does it pull at me silently every time I see it? Keep what's useful, what's beautiful, what feels aligned with who you are and how you want to live. Let go of the rest, with gratitude if you can, because what you're doing isn't just cleaning, it's creating clarity. It always starts with one corner, one drawer, one decision too. And here's something to remember. The drawer may seem small, but the energy it holds isn't. Every uncluttered space is a message to your nervous system that you are safe, you are clear, and you are in control. Sometimes the smallest shift opens the biggest space. There was a woman once who held on to a broken teacup for almost 5 years. It sat at the back of a cabinet, chipped and unused. It had belonged to her grandmother. She never drank from it, never displayed it, just kept it there, tucked away with a quiet ache. One day, while decluttering, she held the teacup in her hands, and instead of asking, "Should I keep this?" she asked, "What am I keeping this for?" In that moment, she realized it wasn't the teacup she needed. It was the memory, and that memory she could carry without the weight of the object. She let it go, and in its place, she kept a photo of her grandmother's hands, wrinkled, strong, wrapped around a similar cup during a quiet afternoon tea. That small shift opened something deeper, space not just in the cabinet, but in her heart. That's the magic of small spaces. When we release what no longer serves us, we make room for what truly matters. The drawer may seem small, but the energy it holds isn't. Every uncluttered space is a message to your nervous system that you are safe, you are clear, and you are in control. And if you're ready, make it a ritual. 1 drawer a day, 5 minutes a morning, not out of pressure, but as a practice in care. Let this be about progress, not perfection, presence, not performance, not... Just like our homes, our minds can become crowded. Thoughts loop, to-do lists pile up, worries whisper in the background like white noise we've learned to live with. And just like we clear a drawer to breathe easier, we can clear mental space, gently, intentionally. One of the simplest ways to start is with a brain dump. No rules, no filters, just sit with a pen and paper and pour it all out. Every thought, every worry, every don't forget to, and what if, and I should have. Let it spill like water overflowing a cup. The goal isn't to make sense of it, it's simply to release the weight. There was a man who journaled every morning, not to be poetic or profound, but because his mind never stopped spinning. He called it his mental exhale. One morning, he wrote for 7 pages straight. It was messy, scribbled. Some of it didn't even make sense. But afterward, he said it felt like opening a window in a stuffy room. Suddenly, he could breathe. He went on to make it a habit, 5 minutes a day. And over time, something shifted. He slept better, spoke clearer, even started hearing his own intuition again, something he hadn't noticed in a long time. That's the quiet power of mental decluttering. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be honest. You can use prompts if you'd like. What's taking up space in my mind right now? What do I need to release? What do I want to make room for? Or simply write what's there. No structure, no grammar check, no judgment. And if you're not in the mood to write, speak it out loud. Whisper it to yourself. Breathe it out in silence. The important part is the release. Because a clear mind isn't just quiet, it's capable. Capable of insight, of calm, of reconnecting with the present moment. In Western culture, emptiness is often seen as a void, something missing, a blank to be filled. But in Japanese philosophy, there's a concept called ma. Ma is the space between things, the pause between notes in music, the quiet moment before a reply, the empty shelf in an otherwise full room. And rather than being seen as absence, ma is presence. It's the stillness that makes movement meaningful, the silence that gives shape to sound, the open space that breathes life into the whole. Ma is not a lack, it is intentional spaciousness, and when we invite it into our lives, we invite in peace. There's a story told of a traditional Japanese tea house where one wall was left intentionally bare. Visitors would ask why the space was empty. Why not hang a scroll or a painting? The host would smile and say, "Because the emptiness is what allows the mind to settle. That space is where the beauty breathes." And in that space, people found themselves speaking slower, sitting longer, breathing deeper. What if we created Ma in our own lives? Not just in our homes, but in our calendars, our conversations, our thoughts. What if we stopped filling every moment? What if we allowed space to simply be? That pause before the next thing, that deep breath before answering the phone, that quiet morning without checking a single screen. These are not empty. They are full of presence, of power, of peace. And the more we create room for Ma, the more we remember. Peace doesn't come from cramming in more. It comes from choosing less with love. So today, leave a little space untouched. A corner of a room, a moment of your day. Let it hold nothing. And in that nothing, may you feel everything settle. So now that you've cleared a corner, lightened your mental load, and created a little space for Ma, how do you keep that energy flowing through the week? The answer is gently, sustainably, one simple rhythm at a time. Here's a soft weekly guide to help you build a lifestyle of spaciousness without adding pressure or perfection. Your weekly Simplify practice. Monday, clear one space. Start the week fresh by choosing one small area to tidy or simplify. A drawer, your desktop, your car console. Let it be easy and let it be enough. Wednesday, brain dump or journal check-in. Midweek is a perfect time to unload. Do a 5-minute brain dump or journal response to a question like, what's taking up space in my mind right now? What can I release today? Friday, reflect plus reset. Before the weekend, take a few moments to pause and ask, where did I create space this week? What felt lighter, easier, more peaceful? Then, set a gentle intention for next week. Something simple like, I'll leave one shelf open or I'll take a screen-free lunch. And remember, you don't have to do everything. Even if you just do one of these, it's enough. These little rituals are not about productivity. They're about presence. They help you stay connected to yourself and to your peace. Over time, what starts as a drawer becomes a lifestyle. What starts as a moment becomes a movement. And all of it starts with one simple step. Let's be real. Even with the best intentions, sometimes the clutter stays. The drawer doesn't get emptied. The journal stays closed. The peaceful moment slips through your fingers. And that's okay, because we're not aiming for perfection. We're building awareness. And awareness is powerful. Common roadblocks. Maybe it's emotional attachment, those just-in-case items or one-day dreams that tug at your heart when you try to let go. Or maybe it's the feeling of overwhelm, where everything feels like too much and you don't even know where to start. Or maybe it's just exhaustion because life is a lot and you're doing your best. Gentle shifts that help. So here's what helps, at least what's helped others walking this same path. The 5-minute rule. Just start. Set a timer. 5 minutes of decluttering. 5 minutes of writing. You don't have to finish. You just have to begin. One thing in, one thing out. Every time you bring something new into your space, let something else go. Make space a rhythm, not a project. Ask a different question. Instead of, should I keep this? Try, if I were starting fresh, would this come with me? Is this supporting the version of me I'm becoming? Celebrate tiny wins. One cleared drawer. Beautiful. One journal page. Worth gold. That moment of silence where you just breathed. That counts more than you know. This is all part of your journey. Sometimes you'll move with momentum. Other days, you'll simply notice the clutter, and that's enough. The goal isn't to have a perfect space or a quiet mind all the time. The goal is to come back to yourself again and again with love, to create space for peace, one small soulful step at a time.
If this time together has reminded you of anything, let it be this. You are allowed to make space in your home, in your mind, in your life. Peace isn't something you have to chase. It's something that's already there, beneath the clutter, beneath the noise. You just have to create room for it to rise. And the beautiful thing is, it starts small. One drawer, one breath, one brave choice to let something go. Whether you take a moment to do a brain dump tonight or choose one space to gently clear this week, I hope you remember that each simple act is a radical act of self-care. And each time you return to that intention, you return to yourself. If this video offered you peace, clarity, or even just a moment of pause, I'd love to hear about it. Drop a comment below and share what space, internal or external, you're choosing to clear this week. And if you'd like more of these calming, soulful pauses, be sure to subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a moment to refill. Thank you for being here, for showing up for yourself, and for choosing to simplify not just your stuff, but your life. Until next time, may your days be spacious and your peace feel close.